Black Ops 6 multiplayer beta has just released, and in usual fashion, a bunch of zombies information has come out of the beta. It's absolutely crazy. It seems like we already know what DLC 1 is. We also know about some apparent upcoming modes, as well as different mode types, including a potential classic mode. I wonder if that could be what everyone's been asking for with starting with just a pistol. Now, before I get into all of the zombies information, I first want to share something that is perfect for you if you're playing the beta to help you get in easier lobbies and reduce lag in your games, and especially since it's rumored that we might be getting some sort of PvP mode in Black Ops 6 Zombies, this will be perfect for release as well. So I'll let you enjoy and then I'll be right back. Since the Black Ops 6 beta has just released, you might be a little nervous about getting thrown into those tough skill-based matchmaking lobbies again. Everything about the game seems awesome aside from this. But don't worry, I've got something that'll help you get those easy lobbies, as well as reduce lag and have a blast playing Black Ops 6. Let me introduce you to LagoFast, your secret weapon for getting into better lobbies. No more stressing over tough matches or frustrating matchmaking. Here's how you can get started. First off, downloading LagoFast is super easy. You can just search for LagoFast on Google and head straight to their official website to download it, or if you want to save time, I've dropped the link right there in the comments and the description. Just click and download. Now, let's talk about this amazing easy lobby feature. With LagoFast, you can choose from over 100 different country servers, and it's as simple as clicking on the recommended server and hitting boost. LagoFast will disguise your IP traffic, optimizing your skill-based matchmaking experience so that you can get matched into easier lobbies. Trust me, you have to try this out. And here's the best part. LagoFast isn't just for PC players. Console players, you are covered too. For console players, you only need to click the banner, jump to the web page. There's no need for a PC, you can just use your phone and change the DNS to connect to the easy lobby right from your console. It's that easy. And like I said, LagoFast not only helps with this, but it also helps to reduce lag and ping in your games for a much smoother experience, to improve your ping and latency a bunch and reduce packet loss. Oh, and I've got some great news. LagoFast is also hosting a giveaway with Black Ops 6 beta codes up for grabs. If you haven't pre-ordered yet or are waiting for the open beta, jump in early, head over to the event page and join in for a chance to win. So what are you waiting for? Get LagoFast today, jump into those easy lobbies and enjoy Black Ops 6 like never before. Links are in the description, don't miss out. And a huge thank you to them for kindly sponsoring this video. So the Black Ops 6 beta had a load of strings added into the Steam page that people managed to figure out. Now they have since removed all of this. I'm not sure why it was in the back end on Steam, and because of this we found out a lot of information. Now of course, like with all leaks and rumors, this is all subject to change and or misinformation / misinterpretation, but the fact this was added to the Steam page specifically and it wasn't just from the back end of the game files makes me believe that this is very likely upcoming content and stuff we're going to see, as opposed to it being cancelled stuff, as they're probably preparing this for an actual description page in the future on the Steam store. So the first thing that has leaked is DLC 1. Now as you know, at Call of Duty Next they confirmed that the first DLC Zombies map is actually going to be coming before the end of the year, so November or December. I'm thinking probably in December, with an earlier Season 1 Reloaded than usual.
And the two of them I love come together to set up the whole narrative, right? Because they're happening concurrently, so we kind of have this interesting like dual story that's gonna, I think, maybe come to a head, because you might have mentioned a third map today, Kevin.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
I heard that, and my chat were like, wait, did he say that?
Yeah, we said it. Before the end of the year.
What did you say? There you go.
Yeah, before the end of the year, we'll be getting our third map.
This is news to me. I did not know this.
We broke news on the COD pod.
Over the next year, when we say we're all in on round-based zombies, I think you're gonna feel that.
So by the end of the year, we're gonna have a full 3 zombies maps to enjoy, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I literally just posted a video the other day talking about how there's loads of areas outside of Liberty Falls that seem like they might actually be future zombies maps. For example, there's this giant factory with giant towers. I said that could be one map, and then potentially we could even see the mansion and or the underground tunnels where the containment chamber is as another map as well. And it seems like, yes, we are going to be heading to these towers within a future map, as within the Steam preset strings there was references to a Janus Towers map. So I'm assuming that is what these giant towers are that we see in the distance on Liberty Falls. Now yes, some people were saying maybe we go here in the Easter egg, or maybe we go to the mansion in the Easter egg, but it seems more than likely that we fail to save Richtofen, and that could be something that plays out in the DLC maps. I wonder if maybe at the end of the Easter egg the Terminus crew end up actually coming to Liberty Falls, or they find find out exactly the location, and they begin coming here.
Peck, Strauss, hold up in the guard station. I want Richtofen's coordinates.
And we are left on a cliffhanger where we're about to go into these towers, and then maybe we could actually play as the proper crew, because I'm hoping that this Liberty Falls map is just a one-off, and this is the only one we're going to be playing as just operators. And the quote from Call of Duty Next definitely seems to imply to me, considering they were talking about the fact that Liberty and Terminus are taking place at the same time, that the two maps are going to collide to then lead us into DLC 1, and maybe the Terminus crew make their way over to Liberty Falls, and we have a map here. Now, some other stuff's been found in the files. Now, mostly this is multiplayer modes that are going to be coming. You can see on screen. There are references as well to a dig site. I don't know if this is the dig multiplayer map from Black Ops 2, or if it has something to do with zombies, but I definitely find that interesting. In multiplayer as well, there's a derelict multiplayer map that's taken place in West Virginia, the same as Liberty Falls as well. I wonder if this could have even been where Richtofen's been having all of these metal and machinery made to upgrade the containment chamber underneath Liberty Falls and to build these underground labs, etc. Maybe to build these giant Janus Towers. This could have been the in-canon location where all of this stuff was crafted, but it might not have anything to do with the story. And there's references in the files as well to Keep. So our dig site and whatever this Keep is, also zombies maps coming. I wonder what the dig site would even be. Richtofen, of course, dug tunnels under Liberty Falls, but I assume that is where he builds the containment chamber and where the elevators go down in his mansion. But are there other dig sites on Liberty Falls that are close by that could even be a zombies map? It would give me major Origins vibes. Richtofen also has this giant T-Rex skeleton in his mansion, so I assume he retrieved that whilst he was digging these tunnels. And maybe in this dig site there's loads of fossils everywhere, and it's kind of giving a vibe of Buried as well with the tunnels there. Now, the other things that have been found in the Steam files are regarding upcoming modes. Now, the first one is Jingle Hells, which is just a Christmas style mode, and we actually already knew this would be coming. And yeah, this should be a lot of fun, and probably DLC 1 will be out by the time this releases, or released at the same time, so maybe it'll even have a Christmas aesthetic for that DLC 1 map. The original Jingle Hells in Black Ops Cold War wasn't very great, but the Halloween event that we then saw was amazing, so I'm hoping the Treyarch can follow suit. Kevin Drew did say that there's a lot of events and festivities planned for this game as well, so I'm expecting that. And speaking of festive modes, Kevin Drew had a podcast interview with Mr. Dalek JD yesterday. Unfortunately, it didn't reveal too much information, and I'll go over the new information that was revealed as well after I'm done covering these leaks, but they did say that there is going to be a Halloween event with the launch of the game, since it's releasing on the 25th of October, very close, and there is apparently going to be a multiplayer zombies game mode, probably something like Infected or something like that, where you're going to be fighting zombies in multiplayer. It's not going to be a zombies mode with multiplayer, it's a multiplayer mode that has zombies on. Moving on, the other mode that's been found in the Steam files is Grief, and this is absolutely awesome. Grief we haven't seen in forever. We last saw it in Black Ops 2, and basically it was a versus game mode, a PvP game mode, where you would compete against each other. Now, I'm assuming by the time it returns, it's going to be radically different to the original we saw, and they did actually plan to have it in Black Ops 4. Jason Blundell even said it was coming, and then it just never released for some reason. So I'm really excited to see Grief back. Of course, we've had PvP files found in both Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, so maybe that was them testing, and now we're finally going to see it in Black Ops 6 Zombies. And I speculated in my video the other day, talking about how we know, of course, that the elite unit on Liberty Falls are not actually Project Janus operators. They're imposters. We don't know who they're working for, but Blanchard, the Janus security detail who is locked in the manor from the Liberty Falls intro cutscene, is communicating to us throughout the Easter egg, and he mistakes them for actually being these Janus operators, but they're someone else. So I'm wondering if the setup for Grief could actually be that maybe the real Project Janus operators turn up on Liberty Falls, and then we could see a versus game mode between whoever this elite unit are and then the Janus operators. But yeah, it's very interesting. Whoever this group are, I wonder if, you know, maybe they were even sent by Dr. Peck, and that's how the Terminus crew are going to figure out the coordinates of Richtofen. But of course, he got teleported away, so they're going to quickly realize it's going to be a lot harder to track him down. But most likely, the Terminus crew are going to make their way to Liberty Falls, explaining why we get some future maps here as well. I guess another idea for Grief could be the Terminus crew versus this elite unit on Liberty Falls, especially if they both end up at the same place, or the Terminus crew and the operators, which you can choose from, versus the Janus operators. And here's the biggest thing that has leaked. On the Steam page, it listed 3 different versions of the mode: a standard mode, a classic mode, and then a story mode. Now, we already know what the standard mode is. It's what we've seen gameplay of already, of course, which is this Cold War Zombies style zombies experience where you spawn in with a loadout weapon. You can choose to have a minimap, although you can turn it off in the HUD settings, and all of these other things on screen. And we also already know what the story mode is. This is the the Director mode, which is going to be the guided version of the main quests. So weeks after every single main Easter egg releases, they are going to release this guided version of the quests.
Are there any plans on implementing difficulty options in Black Ops 6 Zombies just like Black Ops 4?
So I would say directed mode is our answer to that. That is a easier version, and that kind of allows us to preserve the standard mode and to even push it a little bit closer to what it used to be in terms of difficulty. There's a couple things there, right? So for the main quests, right, we're gonna kind of go back to the Black Ops 3 style, where once you've packed, no prompts, no key lines, you gotta start
good to me.
interacting with stuff. Now, obviously, we want to make things intuitive. We don't want, like, I'm like, we're not shooting rocks over here.
Thank God. Please, never again.
But our hope is that really does extend the length of the hunts.
At Season 1, I'm excited to play directed mode.
Yeah.
Because I have a busy schedule. Sometimes things are a little crazy. I like to watch YouTube content, but sometimes, creator content, whatever it is, I don't always have all the time to watch it. So, it's nice to have a way that I can accomplish that goal, on my own with friends in my own time. Get a little help here and there.
Where the rounds are going to be limited, and it's going to teach you how to progress in the Easter egg quest easily, and the rounds are going to be capped. So for example, if you haven't done a certain step by a certain round, the round is just going to go on repeat over and over again until you've managed to do that step. For example, you might be on round 8, you haven't finished it yet, the next round will just be round 8 again, etc, etc. But the third mode that's been found is a classic mode, and we don't have the description or details of what this classic mode is, and again, it could be something cut, it might also be something coming post-launch, but one of the biggest criticisms of Black Ops 6 Zombies has been spawning in with a loadout weapon. People say, they just want to spawn in with a pistol and work their way up in terms of progression. People don't like the fact that there's a mini-map there, etc. So I'm wondering if the classic mode is actually in response to all of this criticism. Maybe you are going to spawn in with a pistol and have more limited abilities. Maybe there's no augments, for example, and it's going to be a tougher mode, and maybe you are not able to change your HUD in this mode, and it's just going to be defaulted to the Black Ops 3 style HUD, where there's no mini-map, there's no XP icons, there's no zombie health counters, etc. Now, whilst yes, you can turn this all off in the standard mode, like I said, maybe you don't have the choice in this mode, all of this stuff is auto turned off. Maybe as well, this version is not going to have armor, it's just going to be the traditional 4-hit down system with Juggernog, and maybe there's no weapon rarities as well, and it's just the classic Pack-a-Punch. And maybe they're bringing back the knuckle crack animation for the Pack-a-Punch in this mode as well, because it was found in the files, but it's not in the standard version of the mode. And maybe you will also get a random ammo mod when you Pack-a-Punch more than twice. Maybe there's no 3 different Pack-a-Punch tiers, there's just the standard. They could also change the Wonder Fizz in this mode so it works more like classic Zombies, where it will give you a random perk instead of you just being able to buy whatever perk you want. And speaking of perks, this mode could also just have the standard 4 perks, and that's the maximum you can get unless there's side quests to get more. So there might be a perk cap in this mode, and the perks could be their same prices as they were before as well. And maybe this mode even has the classic point system, so you get 10 points per zombie that you shoot, and not just get a set amount of points per the kill. Maybe this mode doesn't even have salvage, there's no crafting table, no score streaks, you can't buy self-revives, maybe the revive system is just as it was, just with quick revive. This would be so different to the regular version of the mode. I don't know how constraining it is for Treyarch to develop both versions, so maybe the classic version will not be as rigorous as this. Maybe, like I said, you'll just spawn in with a starting pistol and a limited HUD, but maybe a lot of the other systems are still similar. But it would be nice to see 2 radically different versions of the mode. How amazing would this be? And this would literally be something for all types of fans. So yeah, there's really 2 ways this could go. It could be a simple version of classic, where you spawn in with a loadout weapon, have a limited HUD, and no armor and just classic 4-hit jug. I would imagine as well for this mode it's the 3-hit down system that we had from Black Ops 3 Zombies onwards, without jug that is, not the 2-hit down system. I don't think they're going to go back to that extreme. So it could be as simple as that, or maybe they're going to go more in depth with it and have literally all of the features of the classic system. Either way, it'll still be a much more accommodating mode, and if this is true, there's literally almost nothing left to complain about apart from the atmosphere of Liberty Falls, because there's literally going to be a mode for all types of fans, classic mode, the new style of zombies, and also a guided Easter egg. What more could you ask for? This will be perfect if this is the case, because this solves all of the criticism of the game for people complaining about the HUD, people complaining about the difficulty. It it's going to be just like classic zombies, and then you still have the standard version too if you like to play this more modern version of zombies. This literally provides 3 modes for all types of fans. You have the story version, so everyone can experience the Easter eggs no matter what sort of player you are. You then have the more modern version of zombies, spawning in with a loadout weapon. You can choose to have a minimap, etc. as well, and then you have the classic version, a more stripped back version with a stripped back HUD, and you just spawn in with a pistol. Whilst yes, you can obviously choose to spawn in with a pistol in the standard mode, most people are not going to do that if there's better options, of course. So this literally solves so many of the complaints about this game, so I'm really hoping this is true. Like I said, we don't know if it's coming on launch or if it's coming post-launch, and it's not official yet, so it might not even release, but the fact it was on the Steam page really indicates that it might be coming. And if this classic mode is coming, it's a bit weird that Treyarch haven't announced it yet, because of course it would temper a lot of the hate that is happening right now. So I hope that Treyarch do announce it soon and they give us the official details, but like I say, maybe it's not going to be there at launch, maybe it's in Season 1, which is why they haven't said anything yet. Even so, I hope that if it's coming after launch, they do announce it's coming. Again, it'll reduce a lot of the hate. And maybe Treyarch haven't announced it yet because it might have only recently gone into development, and if that's the case, it might not be ready for launch, it might not even come in Season 1, it might come sometime further down the line. But if it is something they're working on, they definitely should say something soon. And this could have gone into development in response to a lot of the criticism we've been seeing, not specifically of Liberty Falls, because obviously this has clearly gone into development before that, but even from the initial Terminus reveal. So that's all of the leaks out of the way. Now I want to dive into the stuff that we've learned from the Kevin Drew and Mr. Dalek JD interview. So some of this is actually regarding DLC stuff as well. So Kevin Drew confirmed that the Raindrops perk, which will just spawn all of the power-ups, a ton of them, is going to be a Gobblegum on launch. However, he confirms that another Gobblegum, a fan favorite, Shopping Free, a game from Black Ops 3, is going to be returning but not at launch, in the post-launch. So we're not sure when we're going to see this, but in Black Ops 3, all purchases will be free within 1 minute. So it'll be extremely overpowered. You could get all of the map almost open straight away, or buy all of the perks, or do whatever. It's going to be harder on Terminus because it's bigger, but on Liberty Falls it's going to be so useful. Honestly, it's a really overpowered Gobblegum, so I wonder when they're going to release this. Now, unfortunately, like I said, Mr. Dalek JD didn't get the chance to ask Kevin Drew many questions, but Kevin Drew confirms that there are currently no plans to have Mr. Peak's voice lines in the game. I'm not really sure why. I really hope they do explain his origin story in this game. It's a big mystery. I've speculated many times about what he could actually be, but he's going to be getting no voice line. So if they explain his storyline, we're not going to physically hear him speak, but we hear him laugh, I guess. A bit weird why he even asked this question. It's a bit of a random one that I would never think of.
Will Mr. Peaks finally talk to us in Black Ops 6?
You know, never say never, but in this case, there are no plans for Mr. Peaks to be talking.
Okay.
And I think it's good. I think he's a little more scary if he doesn't have that voice, you know? He's just a little bit more
Yeah.
mysterious.
I can't imagine what he would actually sound like.
Yeah,
What
kind
would
of
he say?
It's like in the horror movies when they start talking, it gets a little less scary.
Yeah.
So I've privately been campaigning to Kevin to have Mrs. Peaks
Yes.
Oh,
in the
wow.
game.
No, that has to happen.
I am, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm interested in expanding the Mr. Peaks universe.
Kevin Drew also said that in the short term, there are no plans to go back to old maps after they release and have new stuff to them, such as new perks, Easter eggs, etc. But it's something that Treyarch are keeping an open mind about.
Can we expect, over the course of the seasons, older Zombies maps, launch maps, new DLC maps? Can we expect them to get updates, potentially new Easter eggs, new features, new perks, something to keep them fresh?
Yeah, so I would say, there's no current plans in the short term, but that's something I'm always interested in, and I'm actually curious to get your thoughts on, is that something you want? Preserving a game, the map as it is, how do you feel about that? Because now it's kind of become a different experience. You can never go back to the other version.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a really great question.
So,
that wasn't what I had in my head, but I mean, now...
that's just like an example of something like that, right? Easter eggs and things like that. That sounds really cool. You know, definitely keeping an open mind on that.
Now, prior to Black Ops 6 Zombies being announced, this is something that I've actually been asking for. It makes complete sense. They did it with the first Outbreak, for example. They released 2 main quests after release, and they kept releasing new Easter eggs to them. Even Mauer de Toten got a little Easter egg added after release, so I think this would be a good way to provide life to maps even after they release by adding new Easter eggs to them, adding new things on them in between when main DLC maps release. But right now, Treyarch don't have any plans to do this. I hope that they can do this, though, and I think it would be good for festive events, for example, example, they could add a Christmas Easter egg or, you know, a Halloween Easter egg whenever those swing around. Now, in terms of them saying there's no plans to add new perks to existing maps, in Cold War Zombies, they would, of course, add any new perk into the Wonder Fizz so you could get them on any map. So I wonder if they're saying no, new perks will not be added to the Wonder Fizz this time. However, I assume so. The Wonder Fizz has 2 blank slots, so I assume there's going to be 2 more perks added, probably Mule Kick and maybe another one. So I assume they're going to be still added to the Wonder Fizz, but they're not going to be adding the physical perk machines onto the map. But I don't see why they can't do this. And honestly, I hope we see more than 2 perks. 2 is just way too little, especially if they're just ones we've already seen before. I want to see lots of new perks, which I think Cold War Zombies was really lacking. Although with the augment system, I guess that's going to provide a load of new perks, technically, since a lot of the upgrades we might have never seen before, or at least the combinations of them. Now, in the interview, Kevin Drew also said that he wasn't happy with how Tombstone worked in Cold War Zombies. He said, "I'm a sucker for taking things of our past that might not have been well received and trying to do a retune. Sometimes they work out, such as the jet gun, which they've made a lot better on Liberty Falls. Sometimes they do not with Tombstone." So maybe they're thinking about bringing back Tombstone in the DLC, but currently they're not happy with how to do it. I know Kevin Drew did a poll ages ago with which perk people preferred in Cold War Zombies, and people didn't seem to like Tombstone that much. It's a lot better in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Maybe it's just not as great on a round-based experience as opposed to a DMZ experience. Another thing is regarding Easter eggs in the game. As you know, the quests are apparently going to be much harder in Black Ops 6 Zombies than they were in Cold War Zombies. They made them a lot easier because people weren't completing the quests enough, and they said not enough people were enjoying the story, which is why they're now doing a guided version of the quest, which I'm so happy about. There's a hard version for hardcore players, there's a casual version for casual players. Perfect, catering to both groups of fans. But Kevin Drew actually said that he thinks only around 5% of people completed the D Machine quest.
Are you able to share how small the percentage of people that do manage to finish the zombie story is? Because I would imagine it's an amazing thing for you guys to be able to say, we've put in this huge amount of work, now go experience it. It must be really fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we're hoping. It's hard to get, because it's so situational based on the map. But I think it was like 5% on Team Machine.
Wow.
Wow. And that's a launch map as well.
Yeah.
Even though they made it a lot easier, still a lot less people were completing it. Now, I'm not sure if this is 5% of people who have played the entire game, or if it's just 5% of people who have played D Machine specifically. It's a bit unclear, but even with them making them easier, not enough people were completing them, which is why they're just going to revert back to the harder version and then have a guided version as well. Like I said, so there's things for both groups of fans. Now, Kevin Drew also spoke, I guess, a little bit regarding the criticism of Liberty Falls being too casual, too easy. He didn't speak on the atmosphere. Obviously, that's one of the biggest complaints, that it's a really bland atmosphere. Now, this was recorded before a lot of the criticisms, so I'm sure he didn't get much of a chance to see that, but he said, "Some nights I'm really into a deep experience that's going to challenge me, so I'll play Terminus. Other nights I just want to chill and kill zombies," which is why Liberty Falls is there.
I guess maybe like from a design philosophy, when it comes to designing like both Terminus and Liberty Falls, like what are your sort of goals with each map?
I think over the years we've found that, hey, some nights I'm into a really deep experience that's going to challenge me. Other nights I just kind of want to chill and kill zombies, you know? And so we wanted to make sure we had at least one map to do that at launch.
You can do both at launch, which is epic.
You know, especially with so many people, like it's been a while, it's been 4 years since round-based zombies, so there's potentially a lot of people who maybe their first time playing Vanguard or Modern Warfare Zombies, and it's like, here, you know, here's the space to get your feet wet.
So they're trying to provide an experience for both fans, but like I said, they can still provide an experience for both types of fans. Have a casual, simpler map and have a more difficult one, a more complex one, but still have unique atmospheres for both. I don't think they're going to be able to change the atmosphere at all for Liberty Falls by launch though, because it's close to release. So I'm just hoping that all of the DLC have as rich of an atmosphere as Terminus has had, which is clearly where most of the development has gone into. Liberty Falls probably had literally a fraction of the development and resources that went into Terminus, but I'm just glad that DLC 1's going to be releasing very soon after release, and whilst it seems like it's going to be taking place in these Janus Towers in Liberty Falls, I just hope it's very aesthetically different to Liberty Falls. You know, maybe we can't even go outside these towers, so we're just going to be inside them, and maybe there's some really crazy stuff and science experiments inside of these towers themselves, and it could be very wacky and a very different aesthetic to what we actually see on Liberty Falls, even though we're very close by. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video. That's all of the new news that we have learned. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not for latest and great Call of Duty news information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.